fellow hostages. Captain Black here. Today's topic, anti-black bias, is a given. I don't write or comment often on racial issues because what's the point? Entrenched, manic, psychotic, demonic, satanic bias against black people is interwoven into our national fabric. Now granted, none of us are slaves today. Few of us have been lynched, with the exception of 9 innocent victims recently in Charleston, South Carolina. But the blended optics that our integrated era provide in no way, shape, or form gives us a full picture of what lurks beneath the surface, as it were, of the American psyche. And there's some ugly things there. As a Southerner, grown up under what I unaffectionately call Jim Crow light, I got to see the malicious small-mindedness manifested in any endless number of presumptions, preemptions, preclusions, and plots. Because the foot soldier for white supremacy too often is the sharecropper, if you will, the low-income white person who feels that at day's end, as long as he can stick it to somebody black, then his miserable existence has some worth. Obviously, I could put in the obligatory disclaimer and say that all low-income or even high-income white people are not so afflicted, but enough are. And if we're honest, 50 years out of American apartheid, is anyone surprised by some of the histrionic responses against President Obama, whom I didn't vote for, incidentally? Are any of us surprised by, again, the demon who went to a black church in South Carolina, sat with the people for an hour, and then summarily executed them? We're only 50 years out of a mindset where, A, you would never have had a black president, or a half-black president in this case, and B, rampages like what happened in South Carolina would have been nullified by sympathetic juries, if anyone was even brought to trial. And I'm just using a dramatic pause for a moment to let you digest that. It's kind of hard for some people, I would imagine, to hear the quote, hood conservative, which I am, making such statements. But the point is, anti-black bias is a given. Now, I have not used this bias and the resultant spiritual and psychological abuse to decide to become a chocolate Klansman, a criminal in response. Excellence is our only option in the face of such state-mandated and privately held insanity, past, present, and future. We cannot accept the low expectations of others. It seems that in the racial debate within the black community, excellence and assertive non-acceptance of artificial limitations does not seem to enter into the conversation as much as some of us would like. Once you understand that there is a given, that there is an entrenched anti-black bias in the criminal justice system, for instance, or the economic system, if you feel this way, then the logical question becomes, why would you burden yourself with felonies and a criminal record, which can be easily used not only to disqualify you from take your pick, employment, housing, education, grants, and loans in some cases? Why would you subject yourself to that if your basic premise is that this nation has anti-black bias in all spheres of life? It doesn't make sense. Black stupidity can never be the answer to white supremacy. I pause again and repeat. Black stupidity can never be the answer to white supremacy. And in 2015, to feel that walking around with no money, no political sanction, no intergenerational wealth, but throwing yourself into the open mouth of the criminal justice system and making yourself a human commodity, to think that that somehow is the only logical response to anti-black bias means that you are a fool and you should be discounted. Doesn't excuse the bias, doesn't gloss over the evil that may have been done to you, but your stupidity makes you a disposable asset, for lack of a better word. Anti-black bias is a given in America. For many of us, we are either the exotic pet trotted out by the left or the right, or simply mute statistics who are discussed and talked about as if we have no voice and no intellect with which to offer any input. Now that's the way I've seen it for 49 years. Not talking or writing about it a lot did not mean in any way, shape, or form that I was not cognizant of it. It is part of the terrain that I navigate on a daily basis. But I do know this: anti-black bias is a given. The part that I control in the equation is what I do about it.